Oh, a little ditty for you. Tim K's famous clickbaits. I guess when the revenue is maybe not on par where it should be, you get another clickbait as if Chrissy was leaving. I wish he would, actually. Personally, I don't think he treats her very well, and he looks down at her and her culture. And, well, smart girl. Get herself Americanized, eventually become a nurse in America. But then again, I think he was planning to go back to America to live, wasn't he? He was not going to stay in the Philippines. Well, not that Tim K. I haven't even been watching his show. How long has it been since I've seen his show? I just don't follow Tim K. Not one bit. Then I see, decide to go over there. Oh, what's going on with Tim K? And I see the title of his show. I'm saying, nah, I know this ain't real. I wish it was. I wish it was. You know, Chrissy's a good girl. She's a smart girl too. But I still think that Tim K was a stepping stone for her. She was a stepping stone. Tim K was a stepping stone for Chrissy. I will always believe that. And I think there's more to come. Well, besides Tim's little clickbait stuff, I'm starting to sound like Philippine antics here, huh? Boy, that chick. Well, I didn't come on here to criticize people, but I just wanted to mention that clickbait works really good if you got a monetized channel. And Tim's been doing that for years, but it's not only Tim. Paul does that. Everybody does that on there. I think the ultimate plan with Tim, and by the way, Jesus Christ, uh, I'd have to look at it again. Did he gain weight or what? He looks humongous, really. I still see a disaster trail for Tim. I really do. Um, Chrissy could have done better, but financially, well, Tim has never been broke, and he's got a rich daddy and all that stuff. And he's actually a very intelligent guy. He is, but he's a doofus in a lot of ways. And I just always got the feeling, and a lot of viewers did too, that he just kind of looks down on Chrissy. And I mean, if I'm seeing it and everybody else is seeing it by through the years, well, the comments they make, that it must be true. Like they say, eat shit, 100,000 flies. Can't be wrong. I always like that expression. Like eat grandma's food. If everybody's loving it, it must be good. But I think Tim has pushed the boundaries, I think, in his relationship. I truly feel that. It's not for me to judge, it's for him to live his relationship, you know. Chrissy deserves better than him. Absolutely. My opinion. Uh, I don't know why he's not at the house and he took on this little shitty apartment. Don't make any sense. But I didn't listen to both. There was a couple of videos he did on. I just caught his last one, making believe Chrissy left him and all this other shit. And after a while, shit catches up. I don't think he has the audience he used to have. But he's not going to starve anytime soon. And looking at his size and girth and the fact that Chrissy really makes this show. Now, Chrissy makes her own money from her own channel. She gets money from there. Tim makes money from his channel. Um, as I said, he comes from a stock of family where his father, well, he's not broke, you know. He doesn't come from a broke family. Not even close. That helps. I don't know, maybe he's also getting a little military something or other in there. I don't know. And who cares? I mean, I'm just saying that some things are meant to be and some things are not. And although he's clickbaiting people, he's got to watch out for that karma thing, that karma chameleon. Personally, and, my beliefs, is that someday she's really going to leave him. Ain't going to be no clickbait. But that would never stop Tim. Tim makes a lot of trips, has made a lot of trips, different countries, without her. And can you honestly sit there and think, know the kind of character that he is, that you actually sit there and think that this guy was ever being faithful to her? I'm thinking not. I'm really thinking not. I'm going to find that there's no snacks around here. Nothing worthwhile anyway. What the hell is this? Well, I'm going to have one of these. What the hell? It's a sweet. I don't want to, spoil it. So it is my opinion that it's just a matter of time that several things happen. Well, Tim likes to work out. It's his only savior, but the man eats a lot. And I don't know. I haven't seen Tim in a while because I don't go to his channel. I haven't been to Tim K's channel in a long time, but I tuned in and I said, holy shit. I thought he was working on his weight or something, but, well, apparently not, because what I witnessed was like, holy cow. Either the guy's going to have a freaking cardiac event or something. But I could say that for a number of people on here. But then again, I'm not the master of predictions. Although some of my predictions have come true. Okay, what do we got here? Tim was friends with Tino Presente. If you remember a guy who was a scuba diver. And they did a trip to Thailand together. And after that, Tino said he would never be a friend of him again and quit YouTube. Really? I don't know. I didn't follow him that closely, I never did. It looks like I lost my audience. Still wound up with 12 up. Go figure. Uh-oh. I better get this on the charger. Holy shit. 2%? Are you kidding me? What the hell? I better get this going. Turn a light on here. And plug this baby in. Might be get me by for a few. We'll see. Don't even ask me what I'm eating. Yeah, I wouldn't just trust Tim K as far as I could throw him. I try to keep it honest as I can. I never liked this character in the beginning. I don't like him now. I don't think he'd be a trusting guy in a relationship. Now, whatever reason she's with him, it must be a good one, but honestly, I don't see the match. Well, if you spend time in Angeles, well, put two and two together. I don't know. I think Tim is a spoiled rich kid. Oh, they got money like hell. They lived in a very expensive part of Hawaii, in California. His father's loaded. He don't have a worry in the world. Financially, he doesn't need the show to survive, but what he does, there's a lot of people do this too. He's not the only one. He'll use his show so he doesn't have to go into his account. And when he's really pumping in the revenue, henceforth the the Toyota Cruiser, stuff like that. Where do you think it came from? His viewers. They bought him everything. They got sucked into his vortex of bullshit. Hook, line, and sinker. Pastors in Russia. His father's in LA, isn't he? Tim did GoFundMe when yeah. When the typhoon came, and next week he bought a brand new 4-wheel. Yeah. I'm with you on that. I remember that. That wasn't cheap, by the way. Those things could run 80,000 plus easily, according to how much amenities you have on there. Oh yeah, FJ Cruiser, man. It's a nice vehicle if you could afford it. I think Tim is he may act like a doofus, but Tim is actually he's pretty intelligent. See, I'm not slamming the guy completely. And he uses his intellect to get people, to draw people in on his show. He's very good at that. The guy's got sponsors up the ass, okay? And he makes money from that too, besides his viewers and, of course, you know, the revenue from total amount of the revenue from his show every month. I'm sure he could live on that alone. I don't think he really goes into his own money. I think people have been, his audience has been supporting him for years. And then a lot of people who were very skeptical about the typhoon, what happened with that. That's been a long-term talk about that. But he's not the only one that's ever done that. It wouldn't be any unique situation. And Tim has a temper, as he got into it in town that time with the local merchant and all that. And he managed to get out of that shit somehow, you know. Yeah, well, it started off, when he hooked up with Harold, right? Remember Harold was giving away money to people, and he's going around different places being jets. All I remember about Harold the Boulder, something like that. And when Tim made an appearance on his show, he got some of Harold's viewers, a lot of them, to come to his show. That's how it started. Actually, in fact, that's the way it happens with a lot of, let's just call it, successful YouTube channels. So you make an appearance or do interviews or something on somebody else's show, and they find something of interest in you. It's usually the woman you're with, generally. They follow you over. That's kind of happened with Tim. But he had it planned out like science, though. He really did. I told you, he's an intelligent guy. He knows exactly what he's doing. Don't kid yourself. Nothing was dumb luck with this guy. Nothing. Fisto says. The only thing I rate him for is he confronted Andy Omar in Manila, and Andy Omar ran away like a crybaby. After that, Andy Omar had nothing. Now, what's the deal with his show? Did Andy get in trouble or something? So Andy's not posting, but some people think he's going under a different name. And one of the names was trying to think of the name. Someone accused of being him. Andy was oh man, I don't know what to say about this guy. He was a real rebel rouser. You know, he was an antagonizer, man. I'm surprised this guy didn't get killed because he went at it probably worse than a lot of people on here went at it. I almost had a chance to meet him. He came into town many years ago, and he was over at MJ Square. I said, "Where are you going to be?" I was in town with Gil. I said, "Oh, we could meet up. I'm going to be in town." Because I found, because I found that he was in town. I said, "Well, why don't you meet up with me?" So when I tried to, he just wasn't at the place he said he was going to be. And I wasn't going to look all over town for him. There was a chance to actually meet him, and that never happened. But he was trying. He was definitely trying to avoid meeting me. I could tell you that. no doubt. Yeah, Andy was a big troublemaker. He's still out there. He's going under a different name. Something happened. Something went down with him. I don't know what it was because, I don't religiously and did not religiously follow Andy Omar. Of course, we know that's not his real name, but yeah, he was quite a bit of a troublemaker, this guy. And a lot of people thought he was gay, and there might be some truth to that, but that's his deal, gay or straight, whatever. It's his, shall I call it, positioning in life. Was a low grade Alan Fry. There you go, man. Alan Fry. Yeah. Oh, he was hell on wheels, Andy. Holy shit. Hell on wheels. That certainly was Andy, man. You know, God, how often can I say this enough? You create enough disturbances on YouTube, and after a while, man, you kind of position yourself in a bad fucking way, you know? Like what happened to the other guy that's incarcerated. I mean, look what happened to him. I have no idea how he got there, but he is there. But, you know, when you think somebody has popularity, it's not necessarily in a positive way. People even donate to you if you're not exactly mom's favorite child, if you know what I mean, and a pillar of the community. But people don't want a pillar of the community. They want people like psychologically challenged people like Licky and Popeye and people like that. That's what people look for. And that's what they got. That's what draws people. Drama or put some chick on camera. It goes, it's like elementary stuff. It's all elementary stuff. Put a woman on camera and you got how many guys are out there with their underwear down to their ankles. I mean, just picture how many guys when Chrissy came on. Now, I don't really think, I mean, Chrissy's definitely not my type. I mean, some people find her really attractive. I don't particularly, I don't think she's ugly. I don't think she's ugly at all. I don't think she's as attractive as men. If anything, her sister, they almost look like twins at a certain point, but her sister was kind of had a different look. But her sister wound up marrying a foreign first YouTuber. Oh God, man, let me tell you. She was rather attractive. Chrissy, eh, Chrissy was Chrissy, and she was small and petite and had a way about her, and the way she talked and the way she talked to Tim and looked at him in a begrudging, way, it caught people's attention, and but she put up with a lot of shit with him though. Don't kid yourself. He's lucky to have her, but I don't think that's gonna last. Never mind his clickbait shit, which by the way pisses a lot of people off too. He gets them in there to draw them in to get more watchers to, you know, procure his channel earnings, but it has also turned people off too. Because you're wasting their time. That's why. You're wasting their time. You're putting up some clickbait, and they all do that. Even the new sweetie pie of YouTube, Philippine antics. She does a lot of clickbait. I don't think she's going to be around too much longer. I mean, I'm listening to her own words with the lupus and everything else she's got. She's and her weight and everything. As I said, I'm no doctor, but I can make a prediction based on what I see, what they say. There's nothing, no voodoo about that. There's no, you know, it doesn't take a 10-year college education in medicine to figure that out. Just look at them. Look what they eat. Look at them. Look how big they are, how obese they are, and put their age factor into it, and then come up with a conclusion. Do they drink a lot? That'll tell you something too, on top of everything else. So we all can make our own conclusions based on observation. It's a science, in actuality. Okay, so Fisto says Superman Overstay Road is stuck with a woman that can barely string two words together in the province. Well, my girlfriend doesn't have the most fluent English in the world, but she's understandable, and I understand 99.99% of what she says. We can communicate like normal people do. But yeah, I don't understand overstay road situation. I don't understand it. I never did. Probably never will. He probably makes a good military pension or whatever. I don't know. He's done things like write books. He's selling products. People generally think that he's got money, but he lives in the dumpiest freaking places. The dumpiest places. Now, what is he doing? He's living, what, in a province now? Like Philly in the Philippines decided to do? What's with that? Philly was far better in Angeles than where he is now, I will tell you that. What is he in? Uh, Not Sikior, but Surigao. There's nothing there. I don't have to go there to figure that out. There's nothing there. I've seen enough videos and people's shows on that area. Go watch the other guy and his wife and kid, 8 miles from home. There's nothing there, man. And when the storms hit, they hit hard over there. Surigao is like storm central, which makes me wonder why people move to these places at all. It doesn't make any sense, but, it's dark because I'm not on camera. I don't know what drives these people to do. I said, well, sure. I'd rather live in a province like I am, an island province, than some of the places these people are living. And they pick sometimes the most dangerous places to live in, too, by far. Surigao, there's nothing there. There's everything I've seen and learned about it, there's nothing there. Oh, big deal. They got a tiny bit of wave action, so people pretend to surf in some 2-foot fucking waves. Man, go to Hawaii. I'll show you fucking waves. Go to boat Maui and Oahu. I'll show you fucking waves. I'll show you what a real wave is. I've personally witnessed 40-foot waves when I went to Oahu. Personally witnessed that. The bad thing about that area, you couldn't get a parking space if you were driving. The neighbors didn't like. When surf was up over in Oahu, believe me, everybody else was up too. Everybody and their grandmother was there to watch the waves and the surf action if they weren't having competitions. It's kind of exciting to watch. But, I kind of grew out of Hawaii. All right, I got to straighten this out once and for all. I loved Hawaii for what it was, okay? For what it could be. The beauty and the beast. I could talk all night long about the beautiful spiritual place called Hawaii. I want to pronounce it correctly. It's Hawaii, not Hawaiians. It's Hawaii. Make believe the W is a V. Taught you your first Hawaiian lesson. Hawaii. Okay? Here you go. Just like the northernmost tip of the island of Hawaii, which is known as the Big Island. They tried to change that thing, but it never worked. The real name of the island is Hawaii Island. The others are Oahu, Maui, and blah, 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 Okay, but they keep on calling it the Big Island. That never changed. It was easier to call it the Big Island. Because people had their stationery and literature and souvenirs and everything that said Big Island. They didn't want to change that. But it's not the name of the island. It's not the Big Island. It's the island of Hawaii. It's just called Hawaii Island. For most people that don't know that, I'm now telling you what you need to know. Free of charge. No clickbait here. Not on my channel. Yeah, they're happening. They're happening. Yes, they are. And the good news is that it's still 888. I thought they were going to up it to 1888, but I just checked a couple of days ago because I got them on my messenger, and nope, still only two flights a week, Friday and Sunday, I believe. But it's worth it if you're going to. It's just that when I go to Cebu, I don't always take the plane because the days don't match. And the days that maybe I need to go to Cebu for whatever reason, it's not usually on the days that they're flying out. Nor, then you have to also get tickets. You might have to get some in advance. So it doesn't work out real well. It's just kind of a roll of the dice that you're going to need to go on a certain day that happens to be a flight day. Forget about getting a flight back because it's the same thing. You got to schedule this out. You don't know when you're coming back necessarily. You may need to stay an extra day. So we just wind up doing it the way we normally do. We take our favorite Grab cab driver, and a couple of them we have, and we go from Cebu all the way to Hagnaya Port. Then we take our ferry. In the beginning, we used to take the buses, but oh man, I got burned out on that shit. It just takes too long. And those buses are always crashing. They got drunk drivers and shit. How many times I've seen a bus, even one bus that was over near Carmen or that area, somewhere around there. Halfway in the fucking, over the edge, almost like in the water. Bus accidents galore. It's just not safe. Remember, you're not protected in a bus. You're not forced to wear, like in an airplane, seat belts. You get into a crash, you're going to fly around, you're going to get killed, you're going to get hurt. There's some horrific bus accidents on Ceres, C-E-R-E-S, Ceres bus lines. Have you ever taken them? Yeah. But no, the flights are still going. Yes, they are. I'll tell you who makes money. I believe, if I'm not correct, but I think I am. We have the sky diving shit over here. It's the only place that I know of or heard of in the Philippines that has it. And these guys or whatever, how many, they're making good money. They charged, I think, 26,000 just to take off in the plane. They go up about 10,000 feet, to be exact. Actually, they said 10,000 feet. And you basically, you're usually tied up with the instructor guy, and you just kind of float down. That's it. It's over. 26,000 pesos. Yeah, that's it. Now, because the guy, he's not expending a lot of gas. He's flying up there, then he's coming back down again to get his next passengers. And I don't know what they allow in there, 3 at a time? It's got to be at least 3. So that's 3 times 26,000. And then you figure, how many flights does he do a day? And he does many, because I've seen the planes come and go from here very easily. So he's making some good money. I just hope that he maintains these planes, Because what happens a lot, they don't pay attention to maintenance. Money comes first. I want to get as many flights and money as I can get out of these flights, and they don't spend the time to do maintenance. That happens a lot in Hawaii, both helicopters and small planes for tourist planes. A lot of crashes between helicopter, well, not between them too, but I mean both type of flying machines. I've been on a few helicopters. I don't think I'll ever go on them again unless it was like an emergency. I've been on them in Hawaii, and I've been on without a door, in fact. That was fun. And it's really like nothing. You don't feel anything up there in a helicopter. You're just floating along. It's fun, but unlike an airplane that has the potential of gliding down, You don't really have that option with a helicopter. I guess you have to talk to John Blaze about that. There are things you can do, but it's not 100%. You're going to drop like an egg beater, okay, from the sky. It's just a flying egg beater, electric egg beater. Your engine stops up there in a helicopter. You're pretty much going down like a rock. There are certain maneuvers I understand that could kind of help you, but it's not like a sure thing, from what I understand. But compared to an airplane, well, you still have some lift as long as there's wind and draft, and you can glide down. You don't necessarily go into a dive. You got your flaps and gear that can control a lot of that stuff. Flaps up or flaps down. Da 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 da. Okay, I haven't read the comment. Banton Island? I don't know what Banton, because that's where Gil. No, no, she never lived here. And there's William Abrams. I seen you wear that hat all the time. If that's really you, I think you got a show on there, like one video or something. I don't know. Why isn't Blaze helping out? That's a good question. The big firefighter, the helicopter pilot, which is just basically probably a mechanic. Okay, that's my take on this. That's my take on this. And he was supposedly showing himself in a helicopter, but he never showed himself. He was sitting on a passenger side. Anytime he was in a helicopter, he did any little scenes. He was sitting on the right side passenger when somebody was flying the vehicle. He could be like a flight mechanic or something, whatever, and he's helping with dumping the water buckets onto fires. Is that a possibility? Yes, it's a possibility. If you believe anything he says, but just like his diet is healthy, I can believe that. Like most YouTubers' diets are healthy. Uh, but it's a good question. Why does he help and put out the fires? That's what he does, right? I like to see him answer to that on his show. Oh, I'm retired now. Retired from what? Retired or retarded? Which is it? Maybe just a play on words. 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 Don't come easy to me. Why is it they play this freaking song when they're showing like the stars when they age and different things? You see this on the feeds all the time on, what is it, Facebook? Is this guy making more money from his songs or what? This song goes back. You know who I used to think that was? Because I know nothing about the artist. I used to swear, there was Carly Simon. Because he sounds like Carly Simon. But that music is so used and abused all over the internet. Every time they show something happening, stars passing away, or showing family photos of Bruce with his family, and he has a form of Alzheimer's, whatever, and they'll use that, showing the family or him getting aged or anybody else or any star. They're always using that song. And the other song that was used, not much anymore, and I forgot who the singer was, but you remember the song, 1,000 Miles? That was another one that they were using with videos when couples were finally meeting at the airport, and they would play that music all the time. 1,000 Miles. Blaze is as big of a liar as Bummer. Well, pretty close. So I wonder why they use that same music over and over again. What is the significance of that song that they have to use it on not every feed, but anything to do with the stars or singers or anything, or they're getting older, or they're with their family or something, or they're in a bad shape health wise, and they play this song all the time. Words don't come easy. That's the title of the song. I forgot the guy's name who sings it, but you would swear it was a chick. When I first ever heard that song, I really, really thought I wasn't really caught up on Carly Simon's stuff, and I really thought it was Carly Simon. I could swear it was Carly Simon. Then I found that it's a dude singing that song and see who it was. I said, man, I don't see the match here. I just don't see it. Well, now Philippine Antics is getting carried away. She's going to do shows all day long, all day long. But, some of us sometimes do that. But in her case, I don't think she could leave the house without worrying about falling because she screwed up her hip. She got lupus. She's got this. She's got that. She has to spend her time in the house. And she takes a big chance when she goes out because if she trips with all that body weight and her hips go out for good, that's when you die. The lupus won't kill you. The lupus don't kill you, something else, or diabetes. A fall is going to kill her. Not instantly, but do you understand what happens, especially when you're older? How do you always say, of course nobody wants to fall, but sometimes that happens. You trip on something. I've done it myself. Worry about your hips, your pelvis, whatever, because it's going to take a long time to heal, and sometimes it don't heal right. Sometimes you have to have a hip replacement. But it means that simply means that you're going to be sitting down or laying down for a long time and blah, blah, blah. There ain't going to be much blood circulation. You get a fucking heart attack. So as you get older, and you don't have to be older, but especially when you get older, you got to watch that stuff because you fuck up your hips. You may live to maybe 12 months further if you don't do any activity because you're hurting so bad, your hips are fucked up. You better get a hip replacement. That's the only thing that's going to save your sorry ass. If you have to do it, hopefully you got the money to do it, or else you will die. The accuser of Derek Q Adventures is telling all on Antics Tuesday. I don't even know who Derek Q Adventures is. I don't really follow these people. You'd be surprised. There's a lot of shows that, Licky makes a lot of reference to all these different shows that some of them I never heard of, or I might have heard who they were, but they were just too goofy or stupid to watch. Who was drinking themselves into a stupor, doing stupid things, acting stupid. We have enough stupidity on YouTube. Thank you very much, I can't watch that shit all the time. And I don't know half the people. I don't know who half the people are that Ricky would always knock. I know who Sunshine Shoulders is, but I don't watch him. Every now and then, a blue moon, do I ever turn into him? I don't like this guy because I do believe people when they say he's a scammer. I do believe him. I believe people when it comes to him. I could be skeptical of some people, but this guy's a smooth talker, but I got to give him credit, though. What is he, in his 50s or something? Whatever he is, he works out. No, I mean, he truly works out. I've seen some of his exercise or weight training routines. He really does work out. I have to give him credit for give the guy credit for something when it's due. Okay, he was collecting donations for an old foreigner, and you gave him advice he ignored. Who are you talking about? You talking about Licky? He was collecting donations for an old foreigner. Okay, and you gave him advice he ignored. Well, specifically, who are you talking about? So I can connect the dots here. I'm not going to be on for much longer, actually. I got a slight headache, actually. I want to turn my air conditioner on in the living room and watch another movie before I will retire later for the night. Let's just say we have a lot of interesting characters here on YouTube. And in some respect, I could actually understand why you watch some of these people. And the other, I say I don't understand it at all. You know, it's one way or the other, but it's like people are really goofy on here, man. I don't mean goofy in a good way. I mean people are really psychologically challenged on here. There's no question about it. Hey, look, you could call somebody any name you want, and I've been called every name in the fucking book. It either applies or it doesn't apply, and only you know whether or not it applies. So they could call you anything. They could label you. Can they make allegations against you? The real question is, does it really apply to you or not? You gonna have a guilty conscience over what somebody says about you? Geez, I would have been off YouTube years ago if I was gonna worry that much about somebody says about me. Believe me, I would have been gone a long time ago. And people think I let all this stuff bother me, but why am I still here? Hell, I've been called names that people get killed for being called, you know. I'm still here. Didn't stop me from going on when I felt like going on, like right this moment. Didn't stop me, bros. No, sir. I gotta write something on something here. If you guys can hold on. I can't show you what I'm doing. Okay. Very personal, very private when I'm writing. Okay. Okay. I really needed a magic marker for that, but okay. All right, where was I? Yeah, I've heard of Q Adventures, but yeah. William Abrams says a 50-year-old Chinese looking. Oh, okay. I think I know who you mean. I think I've seen this guy. Yeah, I believe I've seen this guy. I definitely don't follow. I mean, I can tell you that right off. I don't follow. I don't know. I'm just getting really picky who I watch these days. I got to be honest with you. I just, you know, there are times I will have a lot of time on my hands, and I'll go on YouTube and listen to a few things. But the one thing I've noticed is that there are far fewer people that I even bother to listen to anymore. You know, I can't stand listening to Nico's experience. The guy's in love with his fucking grass. All he talks about is his grass and how what a wonderful father he is and that he has a family and I don't have a family. I can say a few things about his family, but I'm not going to do it. All tattooed up and all this shit. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's as far as we'll go with this. I'll be fair about it. There's a lot I could say. And a lot of times it wouldn't stop me. But I'll leave it at that. Use your imagination. You warned him to be transparent in collecting donations. I did, huh? I don't imagine you remember that. Q Adventures, huh? Well, you remember that. I don't. I remember it all. I barely remember who he is. I've seen him. That you brought him up. You said it was a Chinese guy. Is what's his name in the Philippines? The British guy, the British expat in the Philippines. You know, the one that was got in trouble for all the donations he was getting from churches and people, and he's building houses for the Filipinos and without a permit and all that. He almost got ousted out of the country. That guy's got to be about 83 right now, at least. Is he still on? I mean, the last time I ever seen him, he had no comment section on there at all. He had a British guy. British expat in the Philippines or something. That's how long ago it's been since I watched him. He went on Sunshine's shoulders today. He's trying to sell his scooter business for $20 million. You mean the Q guy, the Q Adventures guy? Yeah. Yeah, I did hear of somebody trying to sell. Maybe it was on Philippine Antics. She talks about everyone. Uh, Look, I don't live for this stuff. I may talk about some YouTubers on here, but trust me, I'm not living from this stuff or on it. I'm really not. You may think I am, but trust me, I don't go that far like Philippine Antics and so forth. And well, she just lives for the stuff because there's really nothing for her to do. George supposedly has a job or something. I don't know what the hell. Kind of a weird looking dude. His eyes are too close together. Likes to wear wigs. Got some strange people on YouTube, man. Keep on saying it. Oh, Q. I don't know. Everybody's running out of money. They made mistakes and moving out here. And all I'm hearing, as I said in other shows, is people are just knocking for the Philippines and Filipinas, left and right and left, sideways, up and down, north, south, east, and west. That's all I'm hearing because it didn't work out for them. It didn't work out. And then there's the wannabes that don't live here that are jealous of everybody else who is living here. Well, we don't see that happening, do we? We certainly do. And they're going to knock the Philippines because they can't come here. They can't afford it or whatever the reason is. But they'd rather live their life vicariously through a lot of us people who are actually living in Southeast Asia. We're actually out here living a life of some sort, together with a partner, wife. You may have kids, you may not have kids, have a family, don't have family, you know, and you make enough money to sustain yourself or have a little cash in the bank for emergency. Not everybody qualifies for that. I do, but that's not everybody. I can speak for myself, but from all the sad sob stories I hear out there, people are just pushing up. Oh, they're pushing it in high gear on the donation line. The one thing I don't understand, well, I don't understand anybody. Let me just, cut to the chase. I don't understand anybody on here. You got Rickshaw Philippines, he's got multiple myeloma, and unfortunately for him, which he's not telling you, he's getting cancer treatment, but his kidneys are having a real hard time with this. But multiple myeloma, the longest you could live with that is 5 years. And that's if you're lucky. If in the interim that your kidneys don't go out on you or something, I think Rickshaw is having a pretty hard time. He doesn't look well at all for his age. And I believe I am older than him. He's not looking well at all. He's got that big turtle, long neck, and he never brushes his hair. He has hairs coming out of his nose all the time, and he eats with his mouth open. I can't watch him half the time just because of that. It's just like the other idiot that's burping all the time. Or Jay with his fucking drinking and blowing smoke in the camera. I don't like to watch that. These are low-class people, okay? Well, I mean, Rickshaw is probably an okay guy, but do you notice turning into a gossip channel now? Oh, why not? You go, girl. Well, it's like this. Okay. And we were with Rickshaw on this. Rickshaw is buying things all the time. Oh, his wife. He was happy to leave the Philippines. He was bitching about it so much as he bitches about everything. I definitely used to make comments on the show. I'll tell you right up front. I said, you bitching and whining again? That's all he did. Well, wasn't getting along good with his wife. So he left there for all the shit. He buys his freaking house that was a piece of shit. It was as thin as a pencil. No water was coming through there. All these problems, right? He'd go for his walks every day and, talk in the morning or whatever it was. Very good to his kids. Very good father to his kids. I got to tell you that. He's a good man, good father to his kids. I got to give him that. But then he moves to Ohio, a familiar place to him because that's where he grew up, I guess. And he wasn't making it. And he started getting into his e-begging routine, and he would be getting donations from people to buy him a car, a motorcycle. He'd go out and buy guns. He'd go out and buy all these toys, and people were paying for it. If you got an illness, yeah, they'll feel sorry for you. But it was before. I always knew there was something wrong with him before all this shit happened. I can tell I'm good at, you know, pointing out things. And I know the problems he used to suffer too. I remember him always talking about it. But anyway, uh, there's a man that if the doctors haven't told him, he really don't know. It's unfortunate for Rickshaw that he's got at best 5 years. And he's up there in age, so maybe he'll live a normal lifetime. I don't know. I hope he does. But that's if you're really lucky and nothing else goes on. You got 5 years. Not many people make it with multiple myeloma over 5 years. Oh, she draws you in, huh, Abram? What's your thoughts of Brevis taking credit for the? He probably did. I, I know Brevis well enough that he would do something like that. He don't tell the truth very often, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he'd definitely be on the top three list of who I think would have done that. But yeah, Brevis would be on the upper list for that. I wouldn't be surprised at all. You know, every man has his destiny. That's all I can tell you, man. This guy's destiny is set. I'm sure it is because he's a cocky guy, just like his buddy who was incarcerated. He's a cocky mf'er, too cocky for his own good. If someone likes to hang around bars and drag his woman to bars too, what does that have to say? Gets another woman pregnant while he's still in a relationship with this woman he's got a kid with now and impregnates some other woman. The kid dies either on birth or afterwards. How many people want to bet on whether he not called or not to say, I'm sorry, what happened to you? Or did he give her money when she was pregnant? Did he deny it was his kid at first? Yeah, he's a character, all right. He's a real character. He's a real catch to any woman. Yeah. Hello, Maximus. He wrote what? What did he write? Okay. For the rice thing. Oh, I'm fairly sure it was him. Yeah. Well, I got a little. Well, should I even say this? What are the famous words? Let's just say I talked to somebody the other day. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. don't believe, don't believe Brevis. Don't believe Brevis. Let's just say I talked to somebody I haven't talked to in a long time, and it's all good. That's all I'm going to say on that. Didn't Forrest Gump say it? That's all I got to say about that. Good morning from the USA. Man, that USA is falling apart, man. Boy, California's gone, man. Forget it with their fault lines and earthquakes and fires that are getting increasingly worse. Horrible place to live. Mel Gibson lost his place, but I don't think he's crying about it, other than a number of famous people, actually. Even Anthony Hopkins had a place there. There's a number of people. Paris Hilton, one of the Hiltons, his family home, generational home. That was all along all those famous beaches around there, like Malibu Beach and all that. Was Huntington Beach there? That was a different area, though, Huntington. Well, Malibu Beach was in that area. That's where all the stars lived, around Malibu Beach. It's evaporated, man. It's like what happened to Maui. And the theory was, along with a number of other theories, is that the Maui thing and the big fire in California that was purposely set. And there's an anecdote to that too, and I hope I don't forget of it. It was purposely set. In fact, there was a guy they caught in the street with a fucking torch that was setting things on fire, and they let the fucking guy go. They let him go. He could have been the one that started it. But the theory is that people wanted cheap real estate, land. Yeah. You know, Lahaina in Hawaii, a lot of rich people lived there. That's pretty much mostly what you had there, predominantly. There were local Hawaiians living there too. Some of them were rich too. And a lot of them weren't. But, you know, everybody, there's a community everywhere that doesn't have as much money as the other part of the community. That's the way it is all over Hawaii. You could live in a mansion, just like here in the Philippines. You could live in a mansion, and right next door you got some caddy shack, you know, some Cuba, you know, or something. It's the way it is. The way it is in Hawaii, too. Yeah. But the theory on this, one of them, is that they want to deflate the market on land. It's a way of acquiring. If it's burnt out, it's still going to grow. The trees are still going to grow. It's a way of getting cheap real estate. And there's a lot of people believe that's what was happening. And over in Lahaina, Hawaii, too. But it's, you know, having to do with land developers. Buy cheap, sell high. That's not out of the question. Maximus says, giving the Hollywood Democrats the chance to move out the country since they lost their houses and Trump is in office. Don't even talk to me about Trump. You guys voted for him. You voted for a genuine dictator. That's all I'm going to say about that. I don't like Trump. I don't give a shit what you think of him, some fucking hero. He's a pompous ass is what he is. He's a wealthy, pompous ass. I'm glad I wasn't in America to vote. But Barry he voted for Trump. He did it on his computer here in the Philippines. The only one I know that could do that. But he voted for Trump. He sure did. He voted for Trump here in the Philippines on a computer. That's a first, guys. That's a first. But yeah, you made your choice on president. You have to live with it, man. How could you not see this guy lied about the Capitol takeover, all that shit, the violence that went on? You're going to lie to your fucking Republican ass and say that he wasn't firing this up for them to do that? That he didn't know what was going on? Then all the fucking crazy came out. They were wearing fucking horns on their head. Viking hats and horns with makeup on. That's where all the freakazoids of society come out and things like this. These people were fucking insane. Insane in the membrane. All the creeps and weirdos came out that went down there. It goes to show you how divided the United States is. I don't particularly want to go back there if I don't have to, if you knows what that means. I think you do, but the United States died. It's dead. Too divided. It's too late. Too much racism continues. He's talking about bipartisan, but it's like, you know, no matter what party you are, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, you're supposed to be working together for the people, not for your own pocket like Trump does to get richer. How much money do you want? How much money do you need? These capitalists, they just keep on wanting more and more. Why? Why? For what? You got enough money for how many generations to live off your money once you're dead? Why do you need more and more? You got mansions. You own everything in the world. Like Elon Musk. They said he's soon to become the first trillionaire in the United States. Soon to be the first trillionaire in the United States. But just briefly getting back to Trump, which is not my favorite topic, you voted for him. He's a capitalist pig is what he is. He's a money machine. looking for more money. Greed drives him. He don't care about the people. He's a fucking racist, and he was caught many times with racist comments. You voted for him. I didn't. So if you live in the United States or choose to live in the United States, don't bitch and whine on your show. Once he gets into office and serves his term, whether he lives it out, he is getting older, and it doesn't turn out the way you were hoping to be, he's the guy that was turning the youth in America into animals, into violent people. You know, by demonstration, the favorite word, by demonstration. His bullying behavior. Children watch this on TV. Well, if that's the president and he acts that way, maybe I should act that way too. I suppose if he started smoking, I guess everybody else would start smoking, right? I suppose everybody else was shooting ivermectin up their fucking arm like he was, right? You know what ivermectin is. They say it could help with cancer. They're doing research on that. It's a fucking pesticide. So if Trump decides to do ivermectin, was everybody else doing ivermectin? If Trump decided to go in a helicopter and jump out without a parachute, would you do that too in respect for him? I'm making a point here, guys. As you can see, he's not my favorite topic on here. You voted for him. I didn't. You did. Sure, he'll pardon them. Of course he will. Because he was behind it. No, Kamala wasn't great either. I mean, look, you know, I'd rather have a Democrat in office if I really even gave a shit. You know, and I would have went for Kamala. But yeah, you'd be right about her. She didn't seem very genuine. Not that Trump is genuine. Please don't, you know, let me correct you. Kamala, too wishy-washy. Too much out there. Too over the planet. Too, I don't know, too much of something. So she wouldn't really have been my choice either. Put a Kennedy back in office. That's what I want to see. But, you know, the Kennedy we have now is a Republican family member. And a bright guy, a brilliant man, just brilliant. Great debater. Brilliant. The Kennedys were the best. Kennedy was the greatest president on this fucking planet. Well, in the United States anyway. He was a real deal. Not Jay, but you know, the real deal. Kennedy was respected. Some people think that somebody's going to get another chance to go at him again. And that's a good possibility. Was it twice already? Somebody tried to knock him off. I wouldn't want to be in his position. What do you need that power for? But you know, when you got all this money, you got everything. The next step is more power. More power, more power, more power, more power. How much power you need? You got all the money in the fucking world. You don't have to worry about whether you pay your electric bill or not, like a lot of these YouTubers that move out here, nevertheless pay the rent. You got all the money in the world you could ever need. But you need more. And you want more, and you want more. What, for his family? Does he really give that much of shit? See his son? He didn't like his son as tall, man. And I heard he didn't like when he was on a podium somewhere with his son. Because, you know, Trump always wanted to look overpowering. He was like 6'3" or something. But his son, the motherfucker's like almost 7 foot tall, whatever the hell he is. This guy is tall, his son. He's going to be another power play in the future. You watch it. His son is going to be a power play in the future. He looks like an intelligent young man. He's a tall, giraffe guy, man. And Trump did not like him standing near a podium with him because it made Trump look small. And Trump does not want to look small in any way, financially or his power or anything. He didn't want to look small. He wants to look and be significant. Look, you can't take your money with you in your grave, man. You know, it's going to go to somebody. How much money is enough? I don't have to be a freaking millionaire to live happy. You don't need that much money. But you're into politics, it's for money. There are payoffs, pays off corporations, little sweetheart deals that help get them elected. All the money they spend on their campaigns could go to feed the hungry. Oh no, can't do that. Can't pay money. Can go to get shelter for the homeless. How about that concept? What do they do with the excess in their campaign is what I want to know. Okay, they're out of the competition. Either one, you become president, the other challenger, Kamala, well, the money they raise. I want to know, does that money go in their pocket from contributors? They don't know everyone that contributes. They're not going to go through the list of hundreds of thousands of people and say, okay, you donated 10,000, 20,000. Okay, we got leftover money, so I'm going to pay you back. Where does the money go? Someone want to answer that? On point again. Okay. Frank, you are a humble millionaire. Prep millionaire, but still a millionaire. No, I'm not. I wish. I wish I would. Like they say, I'm broke, man. I'm fucking broke. You better believe it. I am broke. Broke as a skoke. I certainly am, man. I'm not living the high life over here. What are you kidding? You gotta be joking. Millionaire from what? Did I have a corporation or something? I didn't make that much for my house sale in Hawaii. Oh, that sounds like Kevin. Oh, this Popeye that does it every end of. It's like he's trying to take a shit and he's constipated or something. Well, I'm on a roll tonight, man. I'm on a fucking roll, man. A jelly roll. Peso millionaire. I may not even be that. You don't know. Everybody makes predictions about me. Oh, Frank is broke, or he's got money he ain't talking about. Where does he get money for the lawyer? This and that. Let's just say that I do it. That's all. That's all you need to know. I managed to do it. That's all. There's not much to learn. You know, let's just say that, you pocket a little bit of money in the bank and for emergency, and you use it for such. Nothing more to the story than that. Just put a little money in the bank. I sold my house for $475 in Hawaii, and my mortgage was not as high as people were trying to predict. So I came out of that with some money. Yeah, I did. There were other things that were going on too. The land near the fort over here we sold. Old guy got out of this. We got it for a really good price, and we sold it right away. It took 3 months for the paperwork and the tax declaration shit and all that to come in, but fuck, we cleaned up on that motherfucker. And there was money I had in the bank anyway. From previous. I did sell a house in Hawaii. Who said I spent all that money? Think what you want. I don't really give a shit, to be honest with you. I really don't. If you think I'm broke, then, well, it means I'm broke. I'll go with it. Broke as a silk. Broke as a fucking dirt farm, man. No, I didn't pocket 400K. No, 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 no. No. It was a little lower than that, but it was still good. I mean, I'm not complaining. No, I never, I'll be honest, I never thought I could get that much money out of that house. But the funny thing now, I think I mentioned it the other day, the price on that house went down. The guy who bought it, it didn't sink a lot, but it sank by maybe 20,000, which, is still significant, that's, didn't go up. In fact, the whole time, I monitored this. I thought the price was going to skyrocket, but nope. I got lucky with a seller's market. That's the only way I made money on it. I did not think I'd ever come out of that house with hardly anything. Anything. Mm. Well, I had some losses too. I spent a little bit of money, my own labor and stuff, kind of working on the house a little bit. The tenants cost me about $8,000 worth of replacement of tile and painting and you name it. So yeah, I lost a little, but nevertheless, I gained quite a bit. But then again, my money is my girlfriend's, and her money is mine. Really, it's she has her own money. I'm not going to say that she's a peso millionaire. She could very well be, but more money than I'll ever fucking have. That I could tell you. Yeah, 400K American money. That is a lot of money. By us, lay people. We're not politicians. We don't own corporations. Average Joes. Sure, if you could pocket 400,000, I didn't pocket 400,000. Well, actually, the house sold it. I think it was it 475. It's been a while. And I owed a mortgage, but it was not as much as people thought it was. I doubt Frank came out of there with 50 to 100,000. Well, you're wrong. It would have been worth selling you if that's all I could come out with it with. Seriously. I wasn't that desperate I had to sell the house, but it was too much of a headache. It really was, with the tenants, all that shit going on. It was just, it's hard being a landlord from, 8,000 miles away. Very difficult. And then dealing with those issues, I just couldn't do it anymore. It was time. Viking son, that's why they're jealous. Yeah, I pretty much think so. No, folks, I'm not rich. I'm not rich certainly by American standards, and I'm not rich even by Filipino standards. Not at all. I just know how to put a few bucks away. I didn't tell everybody what my income was. Even had my little confidant used to help me with the other case. What's his name? We talked about just about everything. Sometimes we talked 3 times a day. You'd think he was my chick or something, And I'd tell him a lot of things. And some things I told him were true. But there were some things I neglected to tell him. When it came to finances, as far as he knew, I was broke as a skoke. Because I had that 1% doubt. Remember I was talking about that? I keep that 1 percentile going of trust in people. I'll have that 1% of doubt. I do that with everything and everybody. And that's the way to do it. Well, I mean, I can speak for myself. That's what I do. Because you really can't trust anybody anymore. You can't. It's very difficult. I mean, certainly don't trust anybody on YouTube. God forbid. I mean, holy shit. Holy cow. Don't do that. Hello, love of my life, gorgeous lady. Lady. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Kenny Rogers, man. He was cool. Kenny Rogers was cool. Didn't like his restaurant, though, I could tell you that. They're disappearing, I guess. I guess they still have Kenny Rogers in the mall, but if you guys had the pleasure or displeasure of going to a Kenny Rogers restaurant, you got very little for a lot of money. And there was no choices. Skimpy choices. You had chicken, and they'd give you like a little ceramic bowl, a tiny little thing with some corn and something in there, buttered. Tiny little thing, 2 little scoops of a teaspoon, you're done. And whatever you had with that. Kenny Rogers, I mean, the chicken was decent, but there was nothing special about that restaurant at all. The only thing I enjoyed, and then, if you wanted their potatoes, same thing. They give you 4 or 5 little pieces of that in a little ceramic bowl or something. Your money did not go a long way in Kenny Rogers restaurants. Not at all. So I stopped eating there. I don't go to Kenny Rogers anymore. Out of desperation, if we can't decide what, okay, let's just go into Kenny Rogers, you know. As long as it's chicken there, we'll eat it. In fact, we had tonight, we found a medium-sized chicken, believe it or not, by Magnolia. And if you look around, and it's hard to find out here, if you guys don't notice, I know you live your life vicariously through us people here, but you can't find adult chickens to buy in a store, you know, frozen or otherwise. You just can't. They're tiny little chickens. You need about 3 of those to serve a family of 4 or 5 who's fighting for the legs or anything else, you know. We had kind of a, not even a medium-sized chicken with roasted potatoes. I love roasted potatoes. Yeah. You got the juice from the chicken on there. That's what makes the flavor, man. I didn't say it was healthy. I just said it was good. Big difference. But I tell you what, don't put potatoes in front of me. Any form, just don't do that. It's dangerous. That's why I don't buy potato chips. You can't just have just one. 14 watching and 14 thumbs up. So the rest of the people dived out on me. And the true believers are still here. And they're trolls, but they're still true believers in my show. That's about what I have to say for tonight. I'm becoming like Philippines Antics. Too many shows. I'm supposed to be weaning off, but I'm actually making more. That's not a good direction to go. But there's so much shit going on that sometimes you can't help commenting, like Tim K with his clickbait. Oh, that guy makes me sick. Intelligent guy, but he knows how to manipulate people, that's for sure. He really does. Too much clickbait on YouTube. Even on the feeds you see, nothing to do with Philippines genre. You'll see the entitlement of something of the most glorious scene. Man gets eaten by an animal, a particular animal. Clickbait. Then you go to watch it. Where's that scene? You see everything else on there, not even in detail. Not that I look for that stuff. It comes on the feed. Where is it? It's not there. Same as they'll say some actor dies when they didn't die. Can't you sue these people? Don't you have the right to sue people that come on and it's clickbait. And they're going to revel in the money they're making on the views and stuff. Worry about the legalities later on. That's what they do. And they're the same people. They're not just doing one feed. They're doing many. Talking about other actors or singers or songwriters that died, famous people, when they didn't die. Clickbait. That's what's making people money, is clickbait. And they use women as clickbait too. That's very popular, especially in the Philippines. Genre. Okay, guys, I got to get the hell off here. Getting at that time of night to wind down a little wee Scotia bit. Hope you enjoyed the big shoe. Sounds like you did. And of course, I hope whenever I end my show that you learned something. Maybe I'm your wake-up call for certain things on here. Somebody has to be. Why not me? But I've been down this road before. Trying to get more income streams, yeah. Antics, I don't know. Something about she's going to do a channel on her own without George or whatever. They're pretty desperate for money. They said that they make maybe $400 a month off their YouTube. But the thing you got to understand, even to make $400 a month, look at the time they have to put in on this to do it. I mean, she's got all the time in the world. She can't even really walk without falling or hurting herself. She got lupus and all kinds of shit. She's not in good shape. She's obese like crazy, too. keeps on eating and eating and eating. It's going to be that goldfish that explodes, or arteries will explode, one or the other. While George watches in full horror, shit his pants when that happens. But all the work and all the time and editing they put in their show, they come out maybe $400 a month. That's chicken shit. But, okay, converted to pesos, It seems like something. But no, it's really not. If you kind of put together the mathematics on this and how often they're doing shows and how many times a day, they're monetized. They're not making shit for the effort they're putting out on there. Anybody ever beat the shit out of Jasper in the Philippines yet? I don't really watch this show. I never really did. I tuned in on him. I never liked the guy from the beginning, the expert, charging people for consultations like he's some kind of expert on the Philippines from when he first got there. And people are gullible enough to give in to that shit. Well, you know what? If you're gullible enough to give him that money, then he deserves to get it. Everybody has a routine. Everybody has a system on here. Whether it's getting some, chicks on your show, doing interviews with infamous people, like Brevis likes to do. He likes to visit all the infamous people, or famous or infamous, either way, to get a little bit of attention. It's not worth $400 a month to go on a show the way she does. And then you make enemies. People don't always like what you talk about. Duh, we don't know that. People either agree with you on something or they won't agree with you. Take your choice. I mean, it happens either way. The people that follow me and they like my stuff from all the years I've been on, and there's some people that don't. Everybody has their own reason. Maybe they haven't been able to make it to the Philippines. Again, with the vicarious shit, a lot of that goes into place, man. Only flab. Okay, I gotta go. I gotta self-medicate. And Gilda looks at me. Gotta take my meds. God, I enjoy saying that. You got a heart problem, pal? Pop your pill. You got diabetes, pal? Take your diabetes medicine. You know what I'm saying? You got angina? Take your nitrates or whatever you take. Do what you got to do, brothers. Sometimes a man's got to do what a man's got to do. You know what I'm saying? Pop it out, baby. Benny the Benzo. You betcha. You betcha, baby. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'll say it again. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But if you need some fixing, and if it works, that's the key statement. Does something work for you, or does it not work for you? Only you can answer that question. Only you. Got water? Nice. Look, it's okay to play with some people's heads there and there. It's okay. Now and then. You gotta have a little fun on here, okay? Or else what's the use of coming on? Seriously. You gotta have some kind of fun. It's not worthwhile if you don't. But there's a difference on how some things get, kind of like, carried away. And then they wind up in a jail cell. Jesus Christ. Can't make this shit up. Obviously not. I've proven that. You can't make this shit up. You just can't. It is what it is, as Mr. Blaze likes to say. Only you can prevent forest fires, or you could start them too. There's a guy over there, they caught, a couple of you, they caught this guy with a torch in his hand, trying to set garbage cans and shit on fire. All the crazies came out. He could have been the dude that was paid or something to start the fires. They didn't arrest him. Boy, the mayor and the governor is getting shit. There goes the siren, man. Oh, there goes the siren. Internment camp or something here, baby. Listen to that. Listen to that. That's for real. They're letting you know that it's 9 o'clock p.m. Where are your children? As they used to say on the infomercials in America, it's now 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night. Do you know where your children are? I know where mine is. Machine in my life. Oh, well, you know, if it's broken, it's broken. Don't try to fix it either. Some things are better left alone. Listen to that. Okay, it even says low battery 20% anyway. All right, listen to the siren. I think this is a prison camp or something. Ooh, don't say that. Don't say that. There it goes. The dogs are barking like crazy. You know why? Because there is a, what do you call it? Not far from here. Kind of an animal rescue place. And believe me, morning to noon to 9 o'clock at night, that siren goes off. And every dog in the neighborhood from here to eternity, at the sound of that siren, is all barking. Because remember, they got some really sensitive hearing. You can imagine it's uncomfortable for a dog. And we hear this all the time. Okay, glad to entertain you, gentlemen. Hope the Frank Sleep replays got this one too. Or Popeye. Guys, I told you, man, I love that. That's an honor, man. That's quite an honor.